what's up? It's Joe Ready from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Clearwater Toyota, and guess what? I have that one vehicle that's still making people's jaws drop. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 Toyota Prius. This particular one is an XSE, but more importantly, this is the PHEV. Used to be called the Prius Prime. This is that plug-in electric hybrid version of the Prius. But before we get into this sporty style, fuel-efficient vehicle, let's talk about what's going on here. So we're talking about decades in the history books with the Toyota Prius. Being that original OG of the hybrid vehicles has changed everybody's mind, including this person right here, about what a Prius can be about. Before, it used to be sort of a science experiment. Lots of weird folds, sort of awkward proportions, but it got really good fuel economy. Now it can look like this and get even better fuel economy. There is lots of competition, especially when you see other brands adding hybrid vehicles to their lineup. But what I want to find out is this the most fuel efficient sporty style car currently available on the market? Let's go ahead. Let's dive into this one and find out. Right off the bat, Steven's favorite color, black. This metallic black adds to the sporty attitude of the XSE, and it kind of makes sense because remember, XSE is the sporty trim in the Prius lineup. Now at the front of the business, awesome job on really slimming everything down with the headlight design, very angular, very modern LED daytime running lamps, your turn signals, LED headlights, and then working our way down everything body color. And I love the metallic black on these because it not only has some silver flake, it also has some blue flake to it. Really makes it sparkle nicely. And then on the XSE, there is a bunch of black trim, but guess what? It all blends in nicely. So down below, you have more of the metallic black, even on the corners of the lower front bumper, with some more of that lighting. And then as we come across the front nose, what do we got going on? I like the way they did the bright silver right around the perimeter of the lower grille, but this keeps getting a zonk. The way that they sort of sculpted that license plate holder there to mount your license plate, why? Why does it need to be so bulky and just ugly? It just kills the look of the front of the vehicle. Now, if you have a plate here, not so bad. But not every state in the union has the requirement of a front-mounted license plate. Now, you do get a forward-facing camera and full functionality up top, which is always good to see, and then functionality down below. But let me know what you think about the face of this Prius. Would you agree that this is one of the sportier of the hybrid vehicles available today on the market, especially when we're looking at this particular size? It kind of falls in the gray area between a compact and a midsize. Very interesting vehicle, especially in today's market. Now, as we rise up, you got that low sloping hood, clean lines. The lines are so clean. It's like Mr. Clean. And then as we come around the bend, when you go XSE, what are we working with? Wheel and tires. So you're gonna get these machined aluminum, gloss black wheels, nicely styled. If you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of the wheel? This is gonna be a 19-inch wheel. Tires are only 195 on the width and a 50 series sidewall. Now, the reason why they're not wider is that a wider tire is gonna cause more rolling resistance, which is gonna lower your MPGs. A skinnier tire is gonna help out with the MPGs. Another thing a lot of people don't realize, a skinnier tire handles better in water and also in other loose traction situations like sand or snow, because there's less surface area to spin in. Love the way everything is painted nicely around the fender openings. On a non-black Prius XSE, these fenders would stick out because they would be painted the metallic black, and then your Prius would be white, silver, blue, red, so on and so forth. So like I said, with the way that the vehicle is already black, it matches in nicely. Now coming down the side, you do have color matched on your mirror caps, and we do have 360-degree cameras. From the side of the vehicle, you can see the overall proportions. Like I said, not compact like a Corolla, but not mid-size like a Camry. It really is in that gray area. Up top, we're gonna get a panoramic sunroof. Of course, the whole roof painted black. And then even on the door handles, nice to have that metallic black. Look at the way they flow the bodywork. I love the lines of the body as it comes towards the rear. On the driver's side, you have your fuel door. On the passenger side, you have your plug-in. And you don't have to plug it in. It'll recharge on its own with regen braking. But if you want to have a full charge as soon as you leave the house in the morning, you can plug it in. Now, when we get to the rear, just like up front, look at how the air just slides right off. And the aerodynamics are so good, you don't need a rear wiper. The rain's just gonna drift right off. You get a nice little kind of spoiler edge built into the hatch. We got our Prius badge looking good. XSE, everything is nice and very clean on the color and the style. PHEV, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. So you got your gas engine, you got your electric motor, but you could also plug in to charge up that electric motor. That's the big difference between a HEV, a hybrid electric vehicle, and a PHEV. And then working our way down the ground level, super clean. And because this one, like I said, is black, all the black accent areas are just seamless. The best looking Prius by far. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk about power and fuel efficiency. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. Underneath the hood, you are gonna see a lot of hoses, tubes, wires. You got your electric motor. You got your ignition coils, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the internal combustion engine. What are we talking about though? What the heck is going on underneath the hood? So you're looking at a 2-liter inline 4 naturally aspirated engine paired to 2 electric motors. So you're looking at 220 horsepower, 139 pound-feet of torque. Now, if you get all-wheel drive with your Prius, you're gonna get more horsepower and more torque. This one is front-wheel drive. So just something to remember when you're looking at the different vehicles. It uses a 10.9 kilowatt battery pack, which is lithium ion. It's got a direct drive transmission. Here's the kicker, 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds. Prius vehicles from the past would do 0 to 60 in about 10 seconds. And you could hear somebody's very happy about that 0 to 60. That's why they were honking their horn. Top speed is governed to 112 miles an hour. It weighs 3,536 pounds, but here's where it gets crazy. MPGs, 48 in the city, 50 on the highway, 47 combined. And then if you look at pure EV, so the big difference between this and a hybrid is you could drive it pure EV, almost 40 miles, 39 miles on a single charge. And if you combine everything, MPGEs combined, it's 114 MPGEs combined. So crazy fuel efficiency. And like I said, they were able to knock about 4 seconds off of the 0 to 60 compared to previous generations of the Prius. Like I said, the people are very happy about the fuel efficiency and about the 0 to 60 because they're honking the hell out of their horns. But why don't we go ahead, let's give the people what they want. Let's turn on this Prius PHEV and see it zoom off. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Prius PHEV XSE. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I need a vehicle to get good MPGs that definitely stands out, but I like sporty and I also like tech. And I think I like this Prius, but how much is it? Very good question. MSRP for the way that this one is optioned is $44,000, but let's see what you get when you go Prius PHEV XSE. To the door panels, I do like the clean style. Soft touch material, you have some flat black finish No gloss black anywhere, which is really nice. Soft armrest, and then you get a large enough door pocket for a New York style bagel with a large smear of cream cheese and a bottle of iced coffee. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, I'm digging this dark red trim with red ambient lighting in your Prius. We got the JBL sound system, and then as you come on in, you're gonna get your 12.3 inches of pleasure right in your face, all visual, nice large size. We have our power flow display. You can show the battery pack, you can show it plugging in, all those little goodies, the electric motors, all that stuff. Nice to have that display. Of course, you could set up different guests, different driver profiles, and then it even has things like Sirius XM, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. Very easy to use. There's your power on button. One other thing I want to show is when we hit this bad boy, look at that. Spin, spin, spin me around. All the way around, nice, clear, very good resolution on the cameras. This is perfect for when you're in a parking lot by yourself or something. And then we could also throw it into reverse for you to show you the backup camera. So nice clear resolution. You got your trajectory, you got your 360, so they got you covered there. Ventilated seats and heated seats. You got your nice blower fan, your temperature gauge. Down below you got 2 USB-Cs, a 12 volt, and a place where you could pour a 1-pound bag of Skittles and have secret candy stashed underneath. So let's say your doctor says, hey, you need to lay off the treats, the junk food, and you have your significant other in the car and you don't want them to see what you've been hiding, hide it underneath there. 2 cup holders. We have our Prius key fob. It actually says Prius Prime, even though they don't call it the Prime anymore. And then there's your buttons on the back side. I am going to zonk it. This needs to be updated. It feels like a key fob from 1995 alarms. Like the Viper alarm when it would go off and you would have all those noises. It sounded like Pac-Man and Space Invaders. Woo, 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 woo. Come on, update the key fob. Give me a little substance. You have your electric shifter for your direct drive transmission, your different drive modes. I'll show you that when you come to the business side. You could go pure EV. You got your wireless charger, soft touch, open it up, 2 more USB-Cs, and you got a place where you could put 8 7-Eleven hot dogs. I was gonna say sour cream. If you're putting sour cream on your hot dog, that's really bizarre. Sauerkraut, put some relish, mustard, ketchup, whatever you got, you can put on there. And then the seats, the soft-tex material. I love the 2-tone, actually tri-tone with the different reds, soft bolstering. It is manual adjustment on this side, which I am gonna zonk, but thank the Lord, the heaven, that this side is electric. I'm surprised they went with a light gray headliner. That's another thing that I'm gonna zonk. I wish it was just black. But you do have your manual shades for your split panoramic sunroof, which is nice. And of course, a digital rearview mirror. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel in this Prius. All right, guys, business time. Behind the wheel, you do have 2 memory seat settings. There's your power seat controls. Looking good. I tell you, the seats are comfy. Toyota does a comfy, supportive seat. I'm 6 feet tall. Even with the sloping roof line, still plenty of room. Steering wheel is where it has that Prius awkwardness. It had to be somewhere, and it's definitely in the wheel. Don't like the horn button, gotta zonk the horn button, but I do love all the flat black switch gear. It is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel, and then you have that digital display up top that you have to use like a head-up display. So you could scroll through a cornucopia of information, which is nice, but if you use it like a head-up display, you won't be confused why it is the way it is. And then you got your different modes, custom, sport, normal, and eco. But other than that, very well sorted. This is just there's got to be always something for a Prius where it's just weird. This is weird, but you'll get used to it. I promise you. But let's get to the back seat and see if I could promise you if your passengers are going to be happy you went Prius. All right, guys, back seat time now. This is where, like I said, this isn't a midsize. It's not a compact. So It is a little cramped back here for being 6 feet tall. I still got room from the headliner, but you'll notice my knees are a little high, but there is a battery pack that you have to take in consideration. You have your manual shade for your sunroof for the back seat. No pocket on the back of the driver's seat, but the good news is you do have heated seats. Home power source, 2 USB-Cs. I have my own pocket, so the good news is if you're going down to Frankie's over on 47th Street and getting yourself a nice large calzone, whoever's sitting there is going to have to put that hot atomic bomb in between their legs, and that's going to burn their family jewels. Me, on the other hand, I'm smart. I'm getting behind the passenger, the front passenger, and I'm going to put my calzone in the pocket. I'm actually going to call that the calzone pocket so I could keep my family jewels. But like I said, still, it's a little tight for my height, but I'm not touching the headliner. And you also have a soft armrest with 2 cup holders. The one thing that I wish they would have done is, where's my red? They did red stitching, a little bit of it, but where's the red accents like the seats up front so it all matches? But let's get into the cargo area and see what you could haul in this Prius. All right, guys, cargo area time. What's nice about the XSE, you hit the button, you got the nice electric assist. You're gonna be greeted to your cargo area. Now, I left the plug assembly out because I wanted to show you that this is something you could plug at home. You don't have to get that 39 miles of pure EV driving experience. Now, how much room do you actually have? You're looking at 20 cubic feet of space with the seat up. Fold the seat down, you're looking at right around 37 cubic feet of space. Remember, we do have that lithium-ion battery pack. And remember, if you live 10 miles away from where you work, let's do the math here. 10 miles out, 10 miles home. That's a total of 20 miles if you do the math. That means you don't use a drop of gas your whole journey, every single day to work. That's what this brings over a regular Prius. But why don't we go ahead, let's prove it. Let's get behind the wheel and go on throttle and see how long we could go on throttle for before we run out of power in this Prius PHEV. All right, guys, we're leaving Clearwater Toyota. We're in this 2025 Toyota Prius PHEV XSE. I have the energy flow graphic showing because I really think it illustrates nicely how this hybrid system works. You let off the throttle, you have the charging component to it. You go on throttle, you then have the energy usage to it. But it's nice to have a graphic like that. You could also see the caution crossing traffic detected, so you have that cross traffic alert. And we're gonna pull on out into traffic now and go for a little spin. Remember, adjust the wheel like you would comfortably for yourself, and then pretend it's a head-up display. Pretend that it's being projected onto the windshield. It'll work marvelously for you. If you try to do it any other way, you're gonna block the instrumentation with the wheel. But right away, just super smooth, super comfortable, and very quiet. That's another thing that you're gonna like, is how they worked on the chassis, the sound deadening material, the aerodynamics, to really make this a joy to drive when it comes to outside sound. Visibility is great with that nice large windshield. And getting to everything, that's one thing that Toyota always does super, super well, is having everything well laid out in here. You can change your modes. I'm gonna go into sport, changes your drive mode. And just overall, like I said, very, very serene experience when you're behind the wheel. And the fact that you're gonna get the craziest MPGs that you've seen on any modern car is gonna just blow your freaking mind. It really is. We're gonna do a quick on throttle here. Nobody behind us. I like the electric mirror here. On throttle, here we go. So like I said, not gonna blow anybody's doors off per se, but you do have a faster 0 to 60 than Prius models from the past. And if you want to have more power, you can by having all-wheel drive. The way the all-wheel drive works is there's another electric motor that gets put on the rear wheels to drive those. And that's why with the addition of the other motor, that's going to bump up your horsepower and your torque for an all-wheel drive model. But just one of those vehicles that you're going to enjoy driving each day. And especially now, you could say it's a vehicle that when you park it, you're going to want to look at when you walk away, because they did a fantastic job on the style of this Prius. But I really think the plug-in electric hybrid is perfect for those that really want that combination between an EV and a hybrid, because it gives you the best of both worlds. You don't have to charge it if you don't want to. It will charge itself. But like I mentioned, if you want to use no fuel on your daily commute, say you live 15 miles away from work, if you have this fully charged, you are going to be able to go the distance and use no gasoline. It'll be all on pure EV. The direct drive transmission works well. You don't have to worry about a CVT. And then we're going to go on throttle. You ready? On throttle, here we go. So like I said, it'll get up to speed, and on the highway is where this thing is just gonna cruise really nicely because of that low drag coefficient. It's a very, very slippery vehicle when it comes to airflow. Steering is nice and balanced, even in sport mode. It doesn't have the feel, the communication that, say, the Civic Hybrid offers, but when you look at the whole big picture, this Prius PHEV is just, it's so unique. You got your regen braking happening right now. You got your charge gauge up top. You can make changes to the information, whatever you want. It's all at your fingertip, which is fan-freaking-tastic. Just nice to have it not be so complicated. That's the thing, is like things don't need to be so complicated, and this Prius does a good job of that. I mean, listen to how quiet it is. Really, really nice. But I'm hoping that this has been a good, quick overall review of this 2025 Prius XSE plug-in electric hybrid. We're gonna get back to Clearwater Toyota and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a nanosecond. All right, guys, another great day in so many ways here at Clearwater Toyota. Definitely got to thank Chris and the rest of the crew getting us access to this black, stealthy, sporty Prius PHEV. Used to be called the Prius Prime XSE. Let me know in the comment section though, is it sporty enough? Does it have the most fuel efficiency in today's market that you would buy? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. I'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Let's give it up to Stephen Flood. He is actually going to hike the Appalachian Trail later this summer. So wish him some luck. We're gonna load him up with some granola bars and some Twinkies, of course, and see if he makes it to the end of the Appalachian Trail alive. Good luck, Stephen. And just like always, guys, we'll see you on the next ride.